Okay, so you have, we're just going to talk about different pay periods, hourly rates, and things like that. You have weekly, bi-weekly, semi-monthly, monthly, and that's pretty much it. Okay, weekly is you get paid every week. And this is usually Thursday or Friday, but some places pay on Wednesday and some places pay on Monday. I mean, it depends on the employer, but it's just every single week. Bi-weekly is every other week. Or every 2 weeks. Which sometimes gets confused with semi-monthly, which is twice a month. So the difference between bi-weekly and twice a month is that most months you get 2 checks when you're getting paid bi-weekly, but 2 months out of the year you get 3 checks because of the way things line up. So semi-monthly is always 2 checks per month, and these are on set dates. So usually it's like the 1st and the 15th, or it's the 5th and the 20th, or they have a set specific day. Most commonly 1st and 15th. You okay?
I do. Some water.
Yeah. Okay. Monthly is once a month. Again, on a set date. Or day. But some people get paid on the last working day of the month, and so the date might change. Or some people get paid on the 1st, or some people get paid on the 30th, except in February, then they get paid on the 28th or 29th. You know, just, so it can either be a set date, or it can be like last day of the month, or last working day of the month, which would be like the last Friday, something like that. Direct deposit that I didn't type correctly because it's not direct, it's just direct, but anyway. Most employers are moving to direct deposit, which is not a bad thing. With direct deposit, you get your paycheck faster because it's deposited directly into your account on the payday, which is usually like midnight of that day. Some banks it's 8 a.m., but most banks it's midnight. So you get your paycheck in your account immediately. You don't have to wait for a check to clear. You don't have to go pick up your paycheck, and go get it and then go deposit it and then wait a couple days or anything like that. So direct deposit's really nice, and that way you get your money faster. And the reason a lot of employers are switching to it is because it's cheaper for them. Everything's done electronically. They don't have the expense of actually printing checks.
But, like, say for some reason, like, somebody couldn't get a bank account or something, like, the employer would have to give them a paper check, though, right? Or would they have to, like, find a job?
They would, you would have to do, if you can't get, like, a bank account,
So you have, like,
you can have your direct deposit put onto one of those, like, I think it's Regions has that prepaid Visa or whatever. Some employers don't give you the option. Most employers do. Most employers will give you the option of direct deposit or a paper check. You'll get the direct deposit faster, a lot faster. And to discourage you, they'll even say things like, okay, well, if you have to wait for a paper check, we're going to mail it to you. We'll mail it on payday, which means you'll get it like 3 or 4 days later. And then you have to put it in the bank, and it'll take 2 or 3 days to clear.
Couldn't they, like, charge you, like, oh, and now you have to pay, like, we're taking out this much from the paycheck?
Yeah, that they would do.
Printing supply.
They cannot charge you for paying you with a check. That they can't do. They can delay it, but they can't charge you for it. Yeah.
I heard somewhere that you're not supposed to pay, like, workers with cash.
No. Not trackable. Hourly rate is your so hourly rate is the amount of money you work per hour, and even if you're on salary, like you get a set salary, it's based off of an hourly rate of some sort or another, and it's based off of 40 hours. Regular hours are up to 40 hours per week. Overtime hours are any hours over 40. Okay, and then this is kind of got like a little caveat on there. That's with the same employer. So if you have two different jobs and you work 30 hours at one and 20 hours at another, you're not doing 10 hours of overtime. It's only if you go over 40 at one job that it's considered to be overtime. Does that make sense? 40 hours per week, yeah, per week. Sorry, per.
Have people made that mistake?
Hmm?
Have people made that mistake?
Yeah, well, if you can't find a full-time job, or you can find two part-time jobs, you need the money.
It's logical that they'll make that association.
Oh, no, I'm saying, oh, you mean, yeah, they have. Okay, your overtime hourly rate, is federally mandated. Okay, so there are federal laws, and they're in place to protect employees from being overworked without compensation. And that means if you go over your 40 hours a week, they have to pay you extra for it, more than your regular pay. And there's time and a half or double time, and that is based on, like, your employer decides this. Really generous ones will do double time. But this is 1.5 times your regular hourly. So for example, if your regular is $10 an hour, your overtime would be 15.
So,
Go ahead. Well, Kaylin, and then,
yeah, so some companies like won't let, like if you travel work over your hours.
yeah, they don't want to pay it, so they won't let you.
That was my question.
Yeah. Yeah, there are some companies that, because they are federally required to pay you overtime, if you go over 40 hours, there are some places that are really vehement about not letting you go over 40 hours, because they don't want to pay for it. And so they'll like track your time when you get, I mean, then people will send you home. You'll be like, my shift's not over yet. They'll be like, yeah, you're at 39 and a half hours, get out. You know, so they're really, it depends on the company. So you have time and a half, which is 1.5 times your regular hourly, or double time, which is 2 times. So if your regular was 10, your OT or overtime would be 20. If you are on salary, you do not get overtime pay most jobs. Salary, when you get a set pay rate.
Like if you're like in your grading papers like on a Friday, like.
Yeah, so I'm salaried, and I'm salaried for 35 and a half hours per week. That's my work week, is 35 and a half hours. Anything over 32 is considered full-time. So 32 to 40 is considered full-time. And it's up to the company whether they want you to be 32 or 40 or whatever, but I'm salaried at 32 and a half hours. So I need to be on campus for 35 and a half hours. So I have to be on campus for 35 and a half hours working per week. If I take papers home and grade them, if I sit all weekend and work on curriculum or on lesson plans or on grading, or if I sit here on campus all night long, I do not get paid for that because I'm a salaried employee. I get paid my salary, period. So, and there are other jobs where that's the case, where office some office positions, middle management, things like that, you're salaried and you're paid based on like a 40-hour-a-week work week, and if you work more than that, you don't get compensated for that. But that's the difference between being an hourly employee and a salaried employee. When you're a salaried employee, it's usually a higher position. So it's not like construction, labor kind of intensive stuff or waitressing or, you know, it's usually middle management or above. And they kind of figure that's, goes with the territory, it's part of your deal. Like, you've got this position, so you knew what you were getting into.
Like the teachers at school have salaries for fund refugee and
Or hourly. Yeah, exactly. And then there's a federal minimum wage.
$7.71.
Thank you. $7.71 now?
I think so.
Hold on, let me look at it. There's a federal minimum wage and then there's state minimum wages. And the law is that the state minimum wage has to be at least the federal minimum wage. So the state of New York is $7.25, which is the federal. So they can't go below that. California is currently $8. Florida $7.79. Washington State was $9.32. This is the highest in the nation right now. So nobody, no state is allowed to have below $7.25. So that's how that works.
Are they trying to raise it to like $9, $10?
$10.
They're trying to, but it's gonna be really difficult.
Oh, yeah.
Very difficult. Here's the thing. If they raise it to $10, it will align with inflation. And that's good, because that means that we'll be at a place where how much things cost is equivalent to what you're making. However, what will happen is it'll have kind of a snowball effect, and if everybody's making more money, what do you think will happen to things, prices? Then it'll kick inflation up more. So the inflation rate will be higher.
Would a lot of people lose their jobs too? Like
It's possible because companies would be able to, smaller companies would not be able to pay that much money for minimum wage. So it's kind of a snowball effect. You raise minimum wage to meet inflation, which causes inflation to raise more. So then you raise wages, and it's just this like effect of everything just going up and up and up and up. And I mean, in like 1950s and 60s, you'd get an apartment for like $70 a month, and that was expensive.
That's so cheap.
For us. But they also made like $100, $200 a month, and that was, you know, okay money. But that's because a loaf of bread was 2 cents, and you know what I mean? So it's this snowball effect. As you make more money, everything's more expensive. As everything gets more expensive, they raise wages. So you make more money, which makes everything more expensive, and it just continues and goes on and on and on, and that's worldwide.
I would just stay at a set number.
It's a worldwide phenomenon. It happens everywhere. So it's not just with dollars, it's with yen and pounds and pesos and everything. It's just the way it is.
It's crazy. Like,
Right. If you are paid weekly, there are 52 weeks in the year, so you get 52 checks. If you are paid bi-weekly, that's every other week. There are 52 weeks in a year, you get paid every other week, so you get 26 checks. If you are paid semi-monthly, you are paid twice a month. There's 12 months in a year, you get 2 checks a month, so you get 24 checks. See how I said there was a difference? In 2 months out of the year, you're going to get an extra check. Monthly gets you 12 checks. It is also more difficult with budgeting. Okay, so Christina is paid bi-weekly. So that's every other week, which means she's going to get 26 checks per year. Okay, so her bi-weekly salary, nearest only has one A in it. We're going to take that 37,000. We're going to divide it by 26. Oh, it's too high. Can you guys see it? So her biweekly salary is gonna be $1,423.08. Manny is paid semi-monthly, that's twice a month, so that's 24 paychecks. And he's getting paid $1,239 every paycheck, so his annual salary, we're gonna multiply by 24. So 29,736. Maureen works at a local Chicken King. Her regular, I have a hard time saying that word today.
Regular?
Yeah, I don't know. Her regular hourly wage is $9.70. She works 40 hours per week, so what's her regular weekly pay? We're gonna multiply 970 times 40. Sorry. Don't know what happened. $388. I'll edit that out because it had your names on it. So her weekly pay is $388. $988. No, 970. Okay. 388. That's right. 88. Okay, so she's 970. And you want to do that times 1.5. What on earth is this doing? All right, fine. I'm going to switch to calculators.
That'll be 1455.
What is it? 1455. Okay. So that's her overtime rate. Okay. Janice gets $10 an hour, and her regular hours are 40 per week. So 40 times 10. That's her regular pay. She receives time and a half if she works overtime. So she's going to have 5 hours of overtime. Okay, so what is her overtime rate? Yeah, $15. So I've got 400 here. And
75.
75 here. So she's going to make $475. So far, okay? All right, Samantha worked 40 hours plus 7 hours of overtime, and she made $611. We want to figure out what is her normal hourly rate. So here's how it's going to work. 40x, that's 40 times her normal rate would give me her regular hours. Okay, so this is her regular pay. Root for that. So this is regular. Okay, where x is her rate. So far, okay? Alright, and then she works 7 hours at overtime, but what is the overtime rate? Okay, so alright, she gets time and a half. So that's 1.5 times the normal rate. If her normal rate is x, her overtime rate is 1.5x. So far, okay? So x is her normal rate, 1.5x is her overtime hour rate. So she works 40 hours a week at X, and then she works 7 overtime hours. So 7 times 1.5x. And this adds up to give us a total salary of $611.05. So we're okay? Okay, so now I'm going to do 7 times 1.5. And then I'm going to add those together. And I run out of room. That's not what I wanted to do. So then I have to divide both sides by 104.5. This is much before the federal minimum wage went up. 0.5. So yeah, my fat fingers on the touchscreen calculator is not a good idea. So let's fix that. And my big giant fat cartoon fingers. That's 10.5, which will make a lot more sense. And we're going to use 50.5. And we're going to divide both sides by 50.5. And we're going to get $12.95.